Dutch National Championship. I became first in that competition. That was also the competition what made me the pound for pound number one in the Netherlands. I qualified for the highest and for the strongest competition in USA, and that was the Pro Raw Championship this year. Let's do this and let's be amongst the strongest lifters. It was very nice to participate amongst the best lifters in the world. 857.5 at a body weight of 107.4 kilogram, the total that I wanted to hit, and that was a 2K total in pounds, or 907.5 kilogram, to hold an all-time world record one day. I know that I am capable of doing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing powerlifting at all if I don't believe in myself that I can do that. I just want to say that I'm gonna smash that competition in February. I'm the best Dutch/sick lifter in the world.
Welcome back to the KultureKast podcast. My guest today is a returning guest to the podcast. He is pound for pound the strongest powerlifter in Holland. Welcome back, Jugraj Singh. How are you doing, brother?
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here on your podcast again. I'm doing great, man. What about you?
I'm amazing, bro. I'm amazing. Yeah, it has been
That's
a
good.
little while. May last year is the last one we did, and that was
Yeah.
episode 31. So we're going to be talking about a bit of a different topic today, is the competition that you did. Normally we talk about your culture and upbringing and all that stuff, but that was covered in episode 31. So if you are listening, you want to know more about Jugraj's story and how he got into powerlifting and became Netherlands' #1 powerlifter, then listen to episode 31, catch up, and then come back and resume here. But yeah, like we said, you just came back from America, Kansas.
Yeah, USA. Yeah, Kansas
USA.
City, Missouri.
That's the one. It's very different over here in Europe. No.
Definitely, yeah. This was definitely the highest stage of this year in powerlifting history in 2022. So it was very nice to participate amongst the best lifters in the world.
100%. So that was the Pro Raw competition. And so I'm guessing Raw is like the name suggests. I'm guessing no like sleeves or no wraps or anything. Is it just you and that's it?
It was just the sleeves only competition. Okay. So no reps or any other equipped lifting was allowed on that day. Only sleeves. So raw.
So how do you, like, obviously last year you did the Dutch Open and you did very well in that. You came first, right?
Yeah, I did.
And so I'm guessing, did they reach out to you off the back of that, because then you're Holland's #1 powerlifter? Did they like reach out to you and say, we've got a competition coming up next year, or like when did you find out?
So powerlifting is more like a kabaddi system. So you need to qualify for certain competitions. In that case, I qualified for the highest and for the strongest competition in USA. And that was the Pro Raw Championship this year that I did last weekend. So I gave him a message and I immediately received an invite for that competition. And I said, yes, let's do this. And let's be amongst the strongest lifter to perform on the platform.
That's the one. That's the one. I seen on when you announced that you were doing it, I seen like on the invite or something, it said something about a dot score. And then obviously when you did, what is that?
So the dots is based on your body weight and the day what you lifted in the competition on your squat, bench, and deadlift as a total on that certain body weight. So that's a certain formula that will give you a dots point.
Okay, so currently, I know we're gonna, a spoiler alert, you lifted 857.5 kg at the minus 110 body weight category.
Yes.
So your dot scores like 8 point something. Would that be correct?
My dot score for this competition was 513.
Okay.
513. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So how did it? So I thought it's just whatever your body weight is, and then you times it, as you say, like 110 to 857 is probably 8 point something.
Yeah.
Or is it in pounds?
It's a bit different. I don't even know what the calculation about that is, but 500 plus as a dots point is very good in powerlifting. And
Right.
everything above that, you can call yourself almost an elite powerlifter. So, yeah.
And then what was your score again?
513 for
So
this competition.
you're elite.
I'm okay with it because I performed way better in February. There was another Dutch National Championship in the Netherlands. I became first in that competition. That was also the competition what made me the pound for pound #1 in the Netherlands. So my dot score then was 517 or 18, something like that, and my total was 870. So it was a bit higher. So I'm actually not proud about my performance at the Pro Raw, but about the circumstances, everything that happened during the competition, in my preparation, and other excuses, I'm actually satisfied for that total 857.5 as my first competition internationally wise.
Yeah, well, like to the average person, it's just ludicrous numbers anyway. But let's talk about the preparation. So, how long did you know about this competition? So, obviously, February was the Dutch Open.
Yeah, I had that competition 2 weeks after. I immediately went to the meet director and asked for the opportunity to receive an invite. So I actually received one 4 weeks prior to my competition I did in February. So that was when the preparation actually started. It started off pretty good. I hit some pretty amazing numbers during my preparation. Like I did a 290 kilogram on the squat for a set of 5 reps, benching 182.5 kilogram for a set of 5, and everything was going very great. But it was the peaking performance in my last final push during the preparation that fucked everything up.
How so?
It had to do with some private issues in life, and also with not taking it too serious, because I was in a state of mind like, all right, I have hit those numbers that I had to do in my training, so it's only the final push that will allow me to peak that performance. And I was thinking too easily of it, and that was my own fault. I skipped a lot of accessories, so bodybuilding movements that I do after my squat, bench, and deadlift. And I also didn't took my diet so seriously, and that's all my own faults, because I was thinking too easily of hitting the total that I wanted to hit, and that was a 2K total in pounds, or 907.5 kilogram. So that's a very special number to me. So I can be in that spot of being in the 2K club. But beside that, a lot of things were also going on, and it was also summertime, so I was also doing a lot of other stuff. So my head wasn't that much into the preparation itself, but more likely towards other things. So I made it way harder than it should have been to hit that certain number that I wanted to hit. So it's my own fault, but I learned that plenty of times. So a year ago, I put also bad performance around this time of a year. So around August or after August, I'm always performing badly in a competition. And when I have that moment to prepare for a competition somewhere around February or March, I'm performing way better, because the winter also keeps my body weight stable, because in the summertime, one day my body weight was a kg higher, and the other day was 2 kg less than it should have been.
Mhm.
So it's very different and very difficult to get that adaptation, to have a good preparation after such a summer time like I had. So it's very different and very hard, actually. So that's the reason I decided to do competitions only in early in the year instead of doing it late in the year or mid-year.
I'm guessing as well, like 2 competitions a year, like one in say like springtime and one in autumn, it doesn't give you a lot of chance to like rest, recover, and prep again. So like after the February competition,
Exactly.
how long did you take to recover, or did you take any time to recover, or was it straight into prep for this?
So I did a month of recovery. That should actually be more than enough, but everything was going well till summertime came. So that
Too many
was
parties.
no, I don't party at all. I don't drink, only at Rias actually, but I don't do that stuff actually. I don't like to do those things, but it's more likely going to certain areas to the Netherlands to have some fun.
Like traveling and that.
Yeah, and with powerlifting, for me, it's very important to have my mentality 100% towards my preparation. If that isn't the case, it will be very hard to hit those numbers because I am putting myself in such a high standard that I want to hit in my next competition. So everything needs to be perfect, and if that isn't the case, it's gonna be very hard to make that thing happen to
No,
achieve my
100%.
goals. So it's more likely a learning experience. It was also my first international competition in the USA or anywhere outside the Netherlands. So I learned a lot, and I'm actually proud that I made such a stupid decision and also some learning experiences meanwhile my preparation and on the day on the competition. So I'm actually very proud that this happened because it gave me more motivation to push harder, more serious towards my next competition that will happen February, also in USA, Miami.
100%. And like, I think this is the thing when you speak to people in sports, like on the podcast that we have, you find that like you're being very critical of your performance, and like obviously you're going to go back and rectify a lot of issues that you think you didn't do to a high enough standard. I should mention you came third. So it's not like you didn't do terrible. Your first international competition,
no,
biggest in the world, you came third.
If you're looking at that way, I performed actually very well, especially because it was my first competition outside the Netherlands, so internationally wise, and also on the biggest stage of the world for this year. But as I said before, I have high standards. I really want to hit that 907.5 kilogram total at least, so I can put myself in that 2K pound club. And that's a special club for me, especially at this weight class. And it also put me in a good spot for pushing myself towards a certain goal, lifetime goal that I want to hit and that I'm chasing for. But I need those minor goals to hit first to achieve that big goal.
Do you want to say what the big goal is, or is it private?
So the big goal is, of course, to hold an all-time world record one day. So I know that I am capable of doing it. It's gonna be a long road, a very long road. But if I keep consistent, keep gaining, keep building, be smart in my training, mentally wise, I need to be stable and stuff like that, because a lot of things are gonna put in perspective to hit that lifetime goal. But I'm definitely capable of doing that one day. How long is it gonna take? I don't know, but we shall see, and we shall also see how if I'm actually capable of doing that. But I believe that I can be the one to hold an all-time world record one day. So I will definitely chase for that as a lifetime goal. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing powerlifting at all if I don't believe in myself that I can do that.
100%, 100%. All time is in total for like under 110.
Yeah, so I don't actually look at one lift particularly, because it's very great actually to have an all-time world record at a certain lift, like for the squat, bench, or deadlift. But the most important thing in powerlifting is your total, and that's what I want to achieve. and it's gonna be very hard. But believe in myself that I can hit that one day, because why not? And we shall see by the time if that's the case or not. But I will give
100%.
my all to achieve that.
And you'll see that, like, obviously, especially with squats and deadlifts, I think they translate well to each other as well. If your legs are getting stronger, you'll be able to deadlift more. If you deadlift more, you'll be able to squat more. So them two
Definitely.
specifically will definitely help each other out. But yeah, so just to run through your stats for this one, obviously I already said third place. Well, you tell me. You tell me. So you tell me the placement you got at the competition in the weight category and the three individual lifts.
So I was the youngest lifter in that competition. I'm currently 23 years old. I was competing at the minus 110 kilogram body weight class, or 242 pounds class. And my biggest squat in that competition was a silly 302.5 kilogram. I missed my second and third on depth and strength, and that was 320 kilogram. And bench was 210. So it was the same I hit in February. And that's a 463 pound. And deadlift was a PB for me, a small 5 kg PB, so personal best. And that was 345 kilogram. And that's 760 pounds, I think. Yeah. So
Fucking
my
nuts.
total is 857.5 at a body weight of 107.4 kilogram. That was what I weighed in at that competition.
Okay, I went to the gym this morning and now I feel very weak. Like when I left the gym, I was like, yo, I'm doing double biceps in the mirror. I'm thinking I'm strong. I come and sit down with you and now I'm like, shit, I'm weak as fuck.
You're definitely not weak. Because
compared to that, bro, that's silly
I
numbers.
get it, yeah.
Yeah, it's all relative. And especially like you said, you got plenty of time ahead. 23 years old is like
Oh,
nothing. Like
definitely.
you
Yeah.
most people in powerlifting peak at early 30s,
Around 30-ish. Yeah.
around 30ish. And that's like, I think that's the other thing is with most athletes is that your body peaks probably slightly earlier than 30, but your experiences and your mentality of you need them to both line up at the same time. Like you said, a
Yeah.
couple of the mistakes that you've made, you learn from, and then like you'll get a time where your body will be at the highest possible level and your mentality and your experience level will be at the highest possible level at the same
Yeah.
time. And that's probably like when everyone peaks at like different ages,
Yeah.
but 30, like you said, is probably
Definitely.
there about right.
Yeah.
When you're doing an international competition, obviously all of them so far up until this one, you had the juniors obviously that we spoke about last time. You had a couple of Dutch Opens. They're all in Netherlands, so you're just training at home. When you're going internationally, how much in advance do you have to go? Because obviously travel time, jet lag,
So
even
that's
journeys.
let me talk about that, because
Yeah.
that shit is fucked up. That shit is fucked up. So uh so I took my flight to New York City. Uh I stayed there for a few days in Bronx. So and the sad part of it was a 7 hour flight. I had to wait like 3 hours before I actually could catch my flight. So it was a 10 hour thing for me. And after that, the next day I had food poisoning, so I was fucking puking the whole night and the next morning also. So I lost like 4 kgs at
Shit.
my body weight. Yeah. So that's what not a lot of people know, but it's okay. Things happen. It happens for a reason. So I tried my best to add a lot of weight as I could in the last week, especially in Kansas City. But I was also eating a lot of shit. But I couldn't manage to hit that body weight that I wanted to hit, because uh, I need to weigh in around 108.5 or more to have a solid competition in that certain weight class. Because if I weigh less than 108.5, I get very shaky in my squat. So it's gonna be very hard to keep my line when I'm going down in my squat, to keep that line. And if I get out of my technique, it's gonna be very hard to manage that lift, to receive it as a good lift. So that that was very hard for me to experience, but I'm okay with it. Things happen. It happens for a reason. And I'm actually very proud that I got out injury free wise out of the competition and that I came out healthy.
How many days prior to the competition did you travel out?
So 7 or 8 days.
Okay.
So at the seven, so I was 7 or 6 days out from the competition, and that was when I hit the food poisoning and when I was puking and when I lost 4 kgs, and I couldn't manage to add any weight at all, just 1 or 2 kg. Why I lost 4 kgs. So
Fucking hell. I can imagine,
yeah,
like, as you say, like when you're, especially doing certain lifts, it's leverage, isn't it? The more weight you have, the more you can push. Like if you're higher, if you've got higher weights, you can your body weight's higher, then you've got more leverage, sort of thing. So I've seen on your
especially my
Instagram.
whole preparation when I weighed around 108.5 or more, and when your body weight is dropping down, it just hits different on your body. So that sucks, but it's okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I think most people, even if they're not into powerlifting and they're into bodybuilding or something, when you're cutting, it's so much harder to lift as much weight as when you're bulking, sort of thing. So like
Yeah,
most people understand, like 4 kg is a big difference as well. I seen
yeah,
on your Instagram, you obviously were training in a couple of gyms in New York as well. I think either New York or
yeah,
maybe Kansas, and you were
yeah.
on a squat on there and you sort of buckled. Is that because of the food poisoning then?
What?
You know, on one of your Instagram posts, I think it was, or maybe on your story, I can't remember which, if it was on your a post or a story,
Uh-huh.
but you were training at like I think it was like a barbell gym. I don't know what the actual name of the gym was. You were doing squats, and then like you buckled slightly, and they had to like obviously pick up the weight on a
Oh yeah,
squat.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, there was a week before. No, that was actually the day before I left my uh country, the
Right.
Netherlands. That had also to do with losing a kg of my body weight because it's very hot. So as I said before, one day I weigh exactly what I want to be, and the other day I lost like 2 kgs or something like that. So that's also a big difference uh, compared to prepping in the summertime and actually prepping in around winter time and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Because I get more adjusted in the winter compared to summer, and that's also a big factor. And yeah, it sucks, but it's okay because I learn a lot of my mistakes from my mistakes. So I will definitely get things adjusted to for my next competition to eliminate those things that I did, yeah, in fault in a
Yeah,
bad way. So yeah.
100%. Do you think you'll go over earlier? Do you know what caused the food poisoning, by the way? Was it like like the plain food,
So
or was it over in New York, or?
so I think it's the bacteria that I'm not familiar with for my body system
Okay.
because the bacteria in USA is very different
Yeah.
compared to what we have in Europe. So my body definitely needed to get adjusted to those circumstances, and it happens always. Like 9 out of 10 times, I always uh, puke the fuck out of my body when I go to a different country, whether it's India, Canada, or USA. You can call it. So it always happens to me. So
I think
so
in
I'm
Europe,
actually
sorry, I think in
Europe
Europe
is fine.
we have food regulations. Like the EU has like regulations on what you can put in food and what you can't. When you
Yeah,
go to America or India or Canada, their food regulations are as strict as here.
yeah,
So they're just like put any fucking
yeah,
chemical in there, and that
yeah.
doesn't sit well.
Especially the Mexican food, that shit is fucked, man. I'm not gonna eat any Mexican food at all because I was also afraid to eat meat uh, for the next few days because I didn't want to hit another food poisoning again. So I was actually for the next few days I was actually eating just one or twice a day,
Right.
for 3 days straight, and then I was like, okay, shit, I need to add some body weight up. So I'm gonna take the risk, and if it happens again, and if not, then I'm fine. And prior the day before the competition, I also took an IV, so they will send the nutrition and stuff like that in my body system, and but it wasn't good enough to heal the process what happened days before. So it's okay. It's a learning experience.
100%. I think like a couple of bodybuilders I spoke to that went to like different countries and things, they say that they'll go to like, because obviously each country processes their food different. So especially if you're eating out in restaurants and things like that, it's a lot more risky. Whereas I think like if you go to like supermarkets and just get raw chicken and then you make it yourself at home or whatever, is a lot more safe. Like, so if even if you're in a hotel, like if you went to Whole Foods or something and picked up a lot of raw stuff, it's not as, I don't think it would be as bad impact on your stomach, just because I think it's mainly the processed food and the way that they process their food is a bit different to like Europe, which is, but like you said, you live and you learn. Do you think you'll go, when you go back in February to Miami for the next competition? We'll talk about that in a minute. Do you think you'll go a bit more than a week in advance, like maybe a couple of weeks, just so you can get settled in a bit easier?
No, I will actually go just a week or 8 or 9 days before. That's just fine. It's just the food poisoning needed to be happen to get adjusted with the system in USA. So my body received that adaptation now. So I don't think I will receive another food poisoning. And I'm also not gonna eat outside. I'm gonna buy food from the groceries, and I'm gonna make it at the hotel, and that's it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So let's talk about the day. It's one of the, like you said, one of the biggest powerlifting competitions of the year.
Yeah.
All the big names are there, like you were saying. A lot of
that's crazy. Yeah.
A lot of people that you probably look up to, you're now with
definitely.
in the same sort of, and competing against them. What is that like? Because when you're talking about mentality, that's something that must play a part in that, right? If like you going, it's like the idols become rivals. What they sort of say. So what was that like for you?
So this time around, I was actually very quiet. I was actually looking more likely what happened around me, how the people where I look up to, how they approach certain things. And I had to go there for my first time to learn a lot from those people that are at the highest competition, at the top. They are the best, so I need to learn from them what they're doing good and how they approach certain things to get their performance perfectly peaked. And that's exactly what I did. I'm not gonna put those things out because it gives others also an advantage, because you just have to be there. You just have to learn from those people that are at the highest top. And that's what I exactly did. And it was very funny because so we have a 24-hour weigh-ins before. So at the moment when I was checking everything out with my clothing that I would wear on the day of competition, everything happened okay, fine, great. I go to the weight room for checking out the weight, and I saw some big people. I saw fucking Shane Hunt, Joey Sullivan, Jamal Browner, a lot of crazy people that are in the game currently at the highest peak of their strength. And that was so crazy to see in real life. It was such an amazing experience. I've watched those people on YouTube, social media, and stuff like that, and now I'm here sitting next to Jamal Browner. So that was crazy. I also didn't know what to do at that time. I was just quiet. I was I, I was just blown away. It was such a humble experience. So it was very nice. I can't even describe it. So, and those people are also so great. They're such a humble people. They're so nice to each other. Also towards me when I had a talk with a few of those people. They were so humble, so nice, so respectful towards me. So it's not that they are looking down at you because you're just a noob lifter compared to them. No, they see you actually as an equal way. So that was pretty nice to experience. That I didn't have the feeling that I was pushed out from the group. No, it was nice. It was great, man.
Did you if you weren't too shy and too quiet, did you get to ask a few questions with them and like have chats and like maybe get some tips and tricks?
So I did that actually after the competition. I had a few talks right before the day of the competition, when the competition was going to happen. But I just was on my own space. I didn't want to disturb anyone. So I don't even know them, you know. So why would I go to them and ask them a question while they're prepping, stressing out to hit their weight class, to focus on their competition. So why would I even disturb them? So I was like, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm just gonna look around how those people are reacting to certain things, how they're getting adapted to certain things, so I can learn from them. Also on the day of the competition, and after everything happened, I was going one to another and having a good talk with those I wanted to talk with.
That's
So,
good. Like I think the thing with most athletes in competitions and things is like they will not see you as an outsider because one, you came third, so you're still at a very high level and they'll respect that.
mhm,
But two, if you're there and you're at a level like you say, your dots level are high enough for you to go to the competition, everybody there is at such a level where there's a shared experience of like you have went through the same prep as they have, not the exact same, but you know what I mean, like you have done the struggles that they've been through, sort of thing, and like everybody's been in the gym, everybody's working hard towards something. So
yeah,
even if there's competition there, there's still like respect of like this person's worked his ass off to get here just like me. So I think,
definitely.
do you know what I mean? So I think everyone's,
Because yeah,
yeah,
it is the highest competition. You can't just sign up for it and be there. You need to qualify. So there's a lot of work to do actually to be on that spot to compete amongst those lifters. So they definitely respect each other. And so that's
100%.
it. Yeah.
When you weighed in the day before, so obviously like for you it was a bit different because the food poisoning, you were a bit underweight.
Hmm.
But do certain people, like if you're in the 110 category, will certain people come in at like 109 and then eat some more food and then
No, no,
actually
no, no.
be
So I'm not gonna mention his name, but there's one lifter. Uh, he hit his weight 24 hours before the competition. So he had a perfect weight cut and he bumped like 10 kgs up in his weight. So
the next day?
he was actually competing on the day of a competition in a higher weight class while he made his weight for that certain weight class he competed in.
Mhm.
So that's actually crazy. So that's the level you want to be in. Like all those UFC fighters,
Fighters, yeah.
they're cutting like 5, 10, maybe even more than 10 pounds to hit that weight class. But as soon as they're getting their IVs, get hydrated and stuff like that, they're 5, 10, or maybe more kgs higher in body weight. So
Yeah.
that that's the spot you want to work towards to. Not like me, like I came there as a 242 pound lifter. while I was weighing in around 235, 236. So that's not something you want to do. So that's also what I need to work on, to put on mass in my weight class, to be as big as possible and to have a good, nice cut for that certain weight class, to get actually in a higher body weight on the day of competition. So that's also what I learned from those people.
100%. That's what I was going to ask, is
It,
obviously if
it
it's in the
gives you
rules.
such a big advantage. It
Yeah.
gives you such a big advantage. Like I'm here 107.4 kilogram in body weight. And then you have a guy that is actually competing in a lower body weight, in a weight class, and he weighs like 2 or 3 kgs more than you while he's competing in a lower weight class. So that's crazy. That gives you a big advantage in a certain weight class.
Yeah. But is it not difficult then for that person when they cut and then to put on all the size within like one day, if they put on like maybe 5-10 kgs?
IVs does the work. The IVs.
Right.
It gives you the nutrition. It gives you the hydration that you need. It gives you the growth hormone, everything you need in for your body to bump up your weight immediately. And the best thing you can do is while you're getting your IV in, just eat your food.
Yeah.
So you get both things in, and drink a lot of juice or water with salt. That can also lead in a good bumping in your weight. So
salt for cramping.
What?
Is it salt in the water for to stop cramping?
Yeah, also.
Okay.
But you will stop cramping by the IV, because you will get hydrated and you will receive the nutrition that you need for your body.
Yeah.
That you lost while cutting weight. So that's the thing. That's the special thing those people do.
And there's no rulings against it in all these competitions. That's like everybody knows this is gonna happen basically.
Yeah, it's your own thing. If you want to do that, if you want to go on that route, you should do that. That's gonna give you a better performance in a lower weight class. That's the best thing you can do. It gives you such a big advantage, and it's a 24-hour weigh-in. So you have some federations or other sports that gives you a 2-hour weigh-in prior to the competition. So you will have to weigh in at the day of the competition, especially in the IPF. And I'm competing in the IPL. So I'm lucky that I can compete 24 hours, that I can weigh in 24 hours before the competition.
Right. No, it makes sense. So obviously we spoke about like your experience on the day and things, and leading up to the competition. We mentioned it a couple of times now. You're going to Miami in February, Ghost Clash.
Yes, that's right.
So obviously now it's only been last week that you competed. You're still going to be in recovery probably for the remainder of like another month, maybe 3 more weeks.
I'm going to start next week. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So not a lot of recovery time whatsoever.
No.
Why so quick?
So my body didn't damage at all because of the low weights I lifted at the competition day. So I'm good. I'm fine. I got a few itchy muscles that need some rest, but it's okay. I won't squat 300 kg something next week. No, I'm gonna build up slowly again. So my body will get adapted to it, and I don't need the rest for 4 weeks to get adjusted and start again. No, it's okay. I'm fine. I feel good. I can start next week, so I will do that.
Fair enough. I mean, if you don't need the rest, then there you go.
Yeah.
What I think we've already talked about some of the changes, and like you said, you prefer sort of the early in the year and spring, so you like to prep over the winter instead of the summer.
Yeah.
And that sort of will rectify most of the problems that you had in this sort of preparation. But is there any like 1 or 2 things that you think I've like massively fucked up on here, other than the ones that we mentioned, that you're going to change? Like how conscious of you of like okay, these are the things I've learned from this prep, these are the things I've learned from these individuals?
So my body type changed a lot since we spoke for the first time. So, for instance, for bench press, I sink a lot during when I receive my press command. So that shit doesn't work for me at all because I'm way leaner than I was before. So I need to adjust while my body is also adjusting over the years. So my technique needs to be changed on the bench press, for instance, also on the deadlift, squat. Also, I was standing pretty wide, always been a wide squatter, but I've seen that it's very hard to keep that technique while my body language, body type has been changed over the years. So, and I was also using always an mid belt position or a high belt position for the belt, and that's also what doesn't work that good anymore. So I'm gonna use a lower belt position. Probably gonna switch to heels on squats. So elevated shoes that elevates my heels. So I was always squatting on flats. So I'm gonna change that probably. Also, I'm gonna stand a bit closer than I did before because I stand it actually pretty wide, like as a sumo deadlifter, in the same position as in the squat. And with sumo, I've seen that I'm actually standing too wide, so I can't get my hips into a certain place that I want that they are needed to be. So I need to stand a bit closer because I've seen at GAD Gym, I did 330 kilogram on a stiff bar. So that's actually way harder than a deadlift bar because the deadlift bar is way longer and the weights are pushed out more from one to each other. So the band is way more in the deadlift bar compared to a stiff bar, and the stiff bar is what they used at GAD Gym. So I did 330 kilogram, very easy, and that was also the reason why of that was because I was standing way closer than I normally do on a deadlift bar. So it gives me such a better advantage to stand closer, to create more force from the ground to actually execute that lift. And that's actually what I need to change for my deadlift because at GAD Gym, I did 330 kilogram, knowing that I had definitely 340 or 350 in that day, especially with the crowd that was going on. The vibes, everything was great over there. So
it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
We'll touch on that in a second.
Yeah. So that's just a friendly competition for the Sangat and stuff like that. But the most important thing is to actually be competitive to hit those numbers at the pro stage because that's what all matters for me.
100%. But do you think that is another contributing factor is when you know it's not competition, there's obviously mental pressure as well of like, this is a competition and friendly competition, you're a bit more relaxed, things like that, as you're probably able to lift more generally because like even like in the gym you'll lift more than you lift on competitions just because of like nerve, stress, all of these kind of factors as well. So that probably plays a part.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big factor because when you're at the highest stage, you don't want to fail. And if you're gonna fail, it's gonna sit in your mind so hard and so bad. And that's also gonna F you up for the bench press and the deadlift. And compared to what I did at GATS or any other friendly competitions, that was just YOLO me and seeing what I had on the day and just going with the vibes, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. When you're speaking about like your body type changing as well, obviously 23, the last time we spoke, I think you probably 22, 21, because it was like around 18 months ago or something about that range. Obviously puberty is a thing.
Yeah.
Given your size, I don't and your daddy, I think
Yeah.
that's probably quite a few years ago. But
Yeah.
still, like, your body still changes when you're around 21, and that's when you're coming out of that
Definitely.
stage. Is that what you're referring to as like your body composition's a bit different because now you're probably at the back end of that and you're fully matured and you probably came out of the back end of that? Is that what you're referring to, or is it that
Uh,
you put on more mass so your body composition is different?
so I've put on more muscle mass, and I've lost more fat over
Okay.
the years. So, and that changed my body type a lot, and that's why I need to change my technique
Mhm.
to get adjusted with my body type.
Okay. Because before you were using your fat as more leverage. So like as you were saying on the bench when you were sinking in, you were putting it on your stomach more because you had that
Yeah,
buffer zone. Whereas now
definitely.
you're beach ready and
Yeah,
shredded, so
it
you can't do
it it
that.
it didn't even hurt that much, not at all actually back then. But now, if I'm doing that, I don't know. It gets itchy. It doesn't feel right. So it needs to be changed because that's why I make big jumps over the years. Is
Mhm.
because I get adapted very well to my body type. But sometimes uh, I need to fall on the ground to realize those things, to the changes that needed to be changed throughout my technique and stuff like that. So it's very good that I learned from that, knowing that I need to change a lot of things for my next competition to perform well on that certain competition in February.
You've already mentioned the goal, and I imagine this is for February's goal as well, £2,000.
At least, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it. Yeah, it needs to be at least 2,000. Yeah, it needs to be. Otherwise, I'm gonna be pissed off again. Yeah, I know that I have it in me. Everything needs to be just good, perfect. This time around, it needs to be uh, just the way I want it to be because everything was resisting in this fucking preparation. So it was very hard to execute that number. So it wasn't manageable anymore. And that's what I realized the last few weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. I knew, like, and my coach also knew that the 2K club total wasn't going to happen. So that's the reason we decided to lower the total range to at least have a total PB out of it.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, it didn't happen also, and that was also because. So that's the thing. What I love about this competition, the judges were so strict, and I loved it so much that there were no uh, things going around like, oh, that's just a free lift, the judges gave it away and stuff like that. No, it was not only the highest competition, but it was also the highest quality given by the judges by judging the competition itself.
Mhm.
So that was also very nice to see and experience that they're just straight up not thinking like, oh, this is the highest competition, oh, he needs that number, so I'm gonna give him a white. No, fuck no. Red is red, white is white.
Yeah. No, but that, yeah, exactly. And it'll force you to be stricter in your preparations as well.
Definitely.
Hopefully. Mentioned it a bit earlier before is the friendly competition. So that was
GAD.
something that you got a trophy for this year was the GAD Gym. So um,
Yeah, I actually received two. One is still in UK because I couldn't bring it. So I was actually going to ship it, but the shipping cost was like 120 pounds or something like that. So I was like, no, fuck no, I'm not gonna pay that because that's how much I paid for the ticket itself
yeah,
for the flight towards UK. So I'm like, the next time I come there, I will bring a luggage with me and I will just smash the trophy in there and bring it back at
is
home.
that the massive one that you couldn't
Yeah,
bring over?
the what's it called? The
I was gonna ask you,
uh,
bro.
yeah, I don't know what it's called,
It's fine.
but
It's a
it's pretty
trophy.
big. That
Yeah,
that that so that's definitely the coolest trophy I've ever received in my life. That was so cool, so big. It's very
100%.
crazy, man. Yeah,
No, it looks sick, especially I seen the photos at the time and it looked absolutely amazing.
yeah.
So for anybody who doesn't know the GAD Gym, It's Guru Gym in Derby.
Derby, yeah.
Yeah, and every year I think they do 2 competitions a year, right? They do like a
Dude,
summer.
they're gonna do one in December 10th.
Okay, are you coming
Yeah.
back for that?
No, so if everything was if everything was going well in my competition I did last weekend, I would definitely go and support other people. I wouldn't compete because it's not fair for the other people. Because for me, it's a free win, it's a free trophy and stuff like that, and it needs to be equal. Because those people, most of them, if not all of them, are amateurs, and I'm here competing amongst the strongest lifters in the world. So it's not fair for those people to be surrounded with me in the same competition, same flight to compete against me. It's a handicap for those people. So I'm not gonna compete there for the trophies. If I will compete, I would just do it for fun and that's it. Just to give something to the Sangha as a motivation. So that's it. I'm not gonna go there and grab some trophies for the GAD Gym. Could be another competition in the UK just for fun, smashing it, receiving some trophies, but that will be a one-timer for each competition. I won't go there year in and year out to receive the trophies year in and year out. No, it's not my thing. That's
What was your experience like? So actually, to be fair, we haven't actually explained what the competitions are. So well, I'll let you explain it. So because you've been there, I haven't actually been to competition itself. So if you want to describe what the competitions are all about and like why they do it.
So the nice thing about it is that you can sign in for free, and you will receive an invitation that you can participate in that competition. That competition has some certain weight class, not only for the men, but also for the women's. And for each weight class, you will receive a trophy when you come first, second, or third. And the pound for pound best male and female lifter will receive that big trophy. So I actually received 2 trophies on the day. I came first overall wise and for my certain weight class, of course. And you have to do the squat, bench press, and deadlift. You will receive 3 attempts. The judging is pretty likely, so you will actually get passed by having a quarter squat, but I hope they will be more stricter over the years for the next competitions. But it's great, man. The Sangha, the crowd, the volunteers, they're doing such an amazing job. The committee from GAD Gym, Sikh Youth, I don't know what his name is, Deepa, I guess. Those people are so great. They are so helpful, so respectful. It's very nice. It was such a nice thing to experience, something I haven't experienced in my group in the Netherlands from my Sangha. So the respect I received from that Sangha in UK was pretty nice to experience. It was very nice.
100%. And I think the main reason is it's just to encourage people to start like to get into fitness and to lifting. And if you have a goal, then you can work towards it. So like I know for a lot of people, it's their first competition. It's more of a friendly one. It's not as like strict.
Definitely, yeah.
So it helps a lot of people get into it, right?
Definitely, and you will meet some people that are way further in their goals than that you probably are. So you can also learn from each other because most of those people are seeing you as equal as they are in their goals. And it's actually very nice. If you're a beginner, an intermediate lifter or something like that, I would definitely give yourself an opportunity to participate in that competition. And it also brings the Sangha closer and to more likely together as a group. And as you said, they're pushing each other in the right path, not doing drugs or stupid things like that, but more likely like, yo, work on yourself, work on your goals in a healthy way, in a good state of mind. So that's very nice. I love that thing that they're doing over there. Should be also done here and in other countries. They're also doing it in USA, in California, I guess. So that's also very nice, but it needs to be happening at more places because
100%.
that's very amazing. Yeah.
100%, 100%. Like we said, like it's a good way to, you know, have the sangha at any age categories, at any age.
Involved. Yeah.
Yeah, and just get into like fitness instead of, like you said, into sort of like, instead of going down the wrong path. Like, I think we've had this conversation a few times on the podcast, but I think there is a difference between like the culture and the religion. And the
Hmm.
culture can sometimes go down the wrong path. You know, these are very
Definitely.
very much into like drinking and all these kind of things and partying and like
Yeah.
weddings and stuff. Whereas if this is more pushing, you know, the youth of the community into like lifting and health and fitness and more sensible sort of opportunities and things, and it's always really
Yeah.
nice. And you get to meet, like you said, a lot of people. I know that Karen Jeet was there as well. I know that quite a few people who are in this sort of fitness space were there. So it's good for, you know, to meet people at different levels, like you being there, Karen Jeet being there, able to, yeah, you know, if somebody's getting into powerlifting and they want to pick your brains, it's the perfect person to sort of talk to.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
they're like for her as well. And obviously the others who were there as well. So yeah, I thought, just wanted to touch on that because I really like what they're doing. And hopefully it happens more locally around the UK, more locally in other nations where there are, you know, more up and lucky, like maybe Australia,
Yeah.
Canada, India, things like that. So it would be cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely. That's a great thing. Yeah. And a lot of people that are actually a role model in their sports or anything that they are doing where people are into it or looking up to, they should be more involved in those kind of areas where they can be a role model for others to help each other out, to bring others actually in a better position, to have a better path for those people that want to achieve the same goals or their goals that are kind of likely similar to compared to yours. So yeah, that's the most important thing for me because still to this day I'm helping a lot of people from the GAD Gym that competed there out of their competition or their lifestyle goals and stuff like that. So I'm not the type of person that is putting out like a silly coaching link from hey buy purchase stuff like that so you can follow my instructions and I can lead you to a better lifestyle goal and stuff. Now fuck that shit. That's such a silly thing for me. I'm not that type of person. You should be helpful and create some room for other people in a free way uh, to help those people out in their lifestyle goals where they're stuck at the moment for free. Why would you ask fucking money for it? I hate that shit so much that they're using their own capabilities to make some money. And the question then is if they're actually delivering the quality that those people need or need to receive to be a better version of themselves. So yeah, that's it. I'm always that kind of person that doing those things for free, and I love to help others out to give them a better opportunity for their path to hit their lifetime goals. So that's what I love to do, and I will always do that, and I will never ask money for it. Even
100%.
when people are asking money for it, I'm like, no, man. It's for you. It could be like a lifetime lesson. Like, whoa, I never imagined that. So I'm very thankful of him that he's helping me out. But for me, it's just like seconds. Like I need 10 seconds or maybe even less than that to give you an answer, to give you a better opportunity in your path to reach your lifetime goals.
100%. And it's like, you've like, it's the passing down thing, isn't it? So like, if somebody does good to you, you're more likely to do good to somebody else. So if
Yeah,
you get that knowledge from a friend in the gym, then when somebody else wants to come into the gym, you're likely to
yeah,
pass on that knowledge, and it keeps on going, it keeps on going. Whereas if you put it behind a
exactly.
paywall, then it's a bit like, if it
Yeah,
only basically says if you've got money you can learn, which should not
because
be the case.
those people that they're going to pay others to receive those information, they're gonna be like, no, I paid for this, so why would I give it free to you, to the next person? So I'm like, no, this is not right. You need to give advice for free, so other people can also give some advice to the other youths for free. So it's a chain for me in
100%.
my eyes. And that's the sad part, that some people are asking way too much money while not giving the quality that needed to put out in perspective to help others out. So
Yeah, it depends. Like I think everyone's different. Hopefully, like there was some PTs that are good quality, invest in the clients and things like that. But you see
if that's
some,
if that's your work, if that's your uh, money that you need to bring at home, if that's your work, okay, I understand it. That's normal. That's your job. But if you're just an individual that can help someone out for free, not uh, that you don't even need the money. So why would you ask money from those people to have it in compensation or something like that? Yeah, that's just me. I think in a different way.
yeah. I know, I agree with you. I
Yeah,
agree with you. I think it's like if you have knowledge, you pass it on to the next generation. The next generation passes it on to the generation after that, and you keep on improving because
yeah,
what they used to do in the gym in Arnold's day is very different to maybe now because within the
exactly.
past 50 years there's been so many new methods of training and things like that. But no, I again, it's been lovely to catch up. And unless there's any other topics that you want to touch on.
No, I just want to say that I'm gonna smash that competition in February this time around, and I'm gonna show once again who I truly am, and that I'm the best Dutch slash sick lifter in the world, and I'm number one. No one is gonna beat me, and one day I will stay at the top in the whole world. That's just my thing. That's my
100%, man.
ego. That's my drive. I will achieve those things one day.
I've got faith. I've got faith. 2K February
Yeah.
2024. We'll get in the 2K club and then beyond to the moon, as they say.
It needs to be happen, and if it doesn't happen, it will happen the next time. I have the composure. I will wait. My time will come one day. I will keep fighting, keep striving towards my destination.
That is the one. That's perfect, man. Hopefully,
Yes,
when you hit the 2K club, when you're getting all these accolades and awards, we can have another
yeah,
sit down, maybe in a year or so
definitely.
time, and then evaluate the situation again
Yeah,
and be like, this is where we're at, and we'll keep on going up and up and up.
definitely. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. It's also very different compared to the first time. First time I was a little bit nervous. I didn't know what to do. It was also my first interview. I'm now more adapted to it. It's much better.
On the
I
yard
like
dosti
it
ban
more.
gay, so it's fine now.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't met each other in real life yet, but that will also happen in
Soon
the next
come.
few years. Yeah,
Definitely
soon.
soon
Yeah.
come. I remember like when you were at the GAD gym, that was the night that Dylan's fight was as well, Dylan Jima's fight. So the night before, I think it was a Sunday was a competition. The night before
Hmm.
I was in Coventry for his fight, and then it ended up being quite late and things. So when I was like, if I could
Yeah,
get, because Coventry and Derby are quite close, so I thought if I could just get over there in the morning, it would be perfect. And then you end up waking up quite late because the fight ended up quite
yeah,
late. And then I was like, shit, I missed it. But we'll definitely catch up soon, either in the UK or
definitely.
in Holland. And we
Yeah,
will definitely catch up soon.
definitely, man.
Perfect. Cheers.
100%.
Cheers, brother. I really appreciate your time as always. Your links and things. You have a tap bio link. So I'll put that in the description if anyone's listening on Spotify, Instagram, Spotify,
Yeah,
YouTube, whatever.
Instagram is just fine. I'm more active on Instagram. Facebook is a little bit private. And
You got
that's it.
TikTok now,
Don't
innit?
have, I have just one post. I don't like I like TikTok for the videos that I see for the memes and stuff like that, but it's not something I use for posting. Maybe I will in the future, but for now it's okay to watch those memes.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
I'll put your link in the bio, so follow him on
yeah, thanks.
Instagram and we'll see that journey
Definitely.
unfold.